Welcome to Friday Fuel for December 1st, 2023. Here are some announcements about how we're finishing out the semester. Join us this Sunday at 5:30 p.m. for Sunday supper and then putting up the Christmas decorations. Next Wednesday, we'll have another installment of Wesley on Wednesday Advent Style at 8:30 p.m. And next Saturday, we'll gather at 4 p.m. and go see some Christmas lights, maybe here in town or maybe at Aikman Wildlife Adventure. During finals week, we'll have study breaks every night, starting with a workshop on planting some seeds to prepare for our pollinator garden for the spring on Sunday. And Monday from 6 to 8 is the ever-popular pancake night. Tuesday's study break is an afternoon study break from 11 to 2, coloring and fun to come and relieve some stress. And then we'll close out the semester Wednesday night with our last Wesley on Wednesday. It'll be our Christmas Eve service. So join us for study breaks to take a minute to remember that you're more than those tests you have to take and those projects you have to do. And now, here's some fuel for your Friday. Well, we've made it through Thanksgiving. Next week is the last week of classes, which is crazy. But here we are. The end of the semester is approaching. And of course, in the church, Advent starts on Sunday and Christmas approaches once we get to the end of Advent. So I know we're all busy putting out our Christmas decorations and our manger scenes and all of that. The manger scene that we will put out in our worship room at the Wesley Foundation has a capybara. I think it was a McDonald's Happy Meal toy, but now it's part of our manger scene, so that's exciting. You know, it's good to connect with the animals around the world. And I know we'll spend some time looking at Matthew chapters 1 and 2, and we will look at Luke, the beginning couple of chapters of Luke, and specific parts of them, right? We might want to skip ahead. We might skip ahead to verse 18 in Matthew chapter 1, which is, I have my Bible in front of me in case that looked weird, which is the birth of Jesus, right? This is how the birth of Jesus Christ took place. But what happens before verse 18 is actually kind of important, even though we usually skip over it. So Matthew begins his gospel, his retelling of the good news, with the genealogy of Jesus. And so he goes all the way back to Abraham and lists the 14 generations between Abraham and David, and then the 14 generations between David and Jesus. And if you have any familiarity with it, you might know he does include 3 women, which is unusual because genealogies are almost always just the men. But we skip over that because we're like, that's the boring part. But what that does is it reminds us that Jesus is not just like showing up in the middle of whatever, but Jesus is connected to the whole story of the people of Israel. Jesus is connected to the whole story of the creation of the world, even by remembering his genealogy going back to Abraham. So very often at Christmas, we feel disconnected. We choose the people we want to be with. We maybe just spend time with family, or we pick certain people that we want to be with. And in our greater culture, we're often choosing sides and being disconnected from people. But the Gospel of Matthew begins with a list of the people connected to Jesus throughout history, so that Jesus's people know who they are connected with. And so I am challenged to think about how during this season of Advent and preparing for Christmas, I am actually connected with others instead of disconnected from others. Instead of choosing sides about any given thing, how am I actually connected with both sides if there are 2 sides? When classes end and finals are over, the students will be gone and we'll feel all disconnected. But the story of Jesus actually connects us with the rest of the world, really. And so even in this season, of where there's division and there's, pick a side on any given topic or any given conflict or any given war, remember that we are all connected. And Scripture goes to great lengths to remind us of our connections through the generations and the fact that we're part of a bigger story, right? It's not just the story of Jesus, but it's part of this greater story that God has been working on since the beginning of time. And that's big, but it's also exciting. We are part of something more than ourselves, and we are connected to others. Maybe even the capybaras. I don't know. So think about that as you go through the rest of the semester and in your preparations for Advent and Christmas. In the United Methodist Church, there's been a lot of disconnecting recently and choosing sides, but the gospel always reminds us that we are connected. So that is a challenging message when it's easier just to be with the people that are like us and that we like. So I will be challenged by that this week about how I am connected with even the people that I don't know or the people that I don't like. And I offer that challenge to you as well. So happy New Year, because it's the new year in the church when Advent begins on Sunday. And I'll see you back here next week for maybe the last Friday Fuel, because we never know if I'm going to make it through finals week and be able to do Friday Fuel. But anyway, see you next week. Have a good week. Bye.